And I'm back. It's Unique with Unique Travels.tv, and I'm coming to you guys to talk about what? To talk about what do you need? I'm sorry, you guys. It's early in the morning. My first class isn't until 10 o'clock, so I'm like, oh, let me make some videos. It's 8 a.m. and I have nothing else to do right now. So, what do you need to get a work visa? What paperwork do you need? You do not, I get this question a lot. You do not need an FBI background check. That's for South Korea and other countries. But for China, you do not need that. You need a statewide background check. So you can go to your local police station or whatever. And the first one I got was like $20. Then I found a place that was only $5. A police station. I had to get two because they're only accepted as long as it was in like within 3 months or 6 months of the date you were coming to China, and I had got mine too early, so I had to get another one. I got another one like right before we left because I didn't want any issues. So you do need a background check, but for China, only a statewide background check. So say you got into some trouble when you were younger and then you moved, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to tell your job that you got in trouble, that you have a criminal record. You don't have to do any of that because it's not an FBI check. It's only a statewide. So if you got in trouble in New York and then you move to Atlanta, then you're fine. You also need a notarized copy of your degree. So you take your regular college diploma, you make a copy of it. You could take it to your bank or Notary Republic. I took mine to my bank. They will notarize it. You'll like sign on the paper, they'll stamp some stuff on there or whatever. Then you'll take that degree to the Secretary of State. I got lucky, and in Atlanta we have a Secretary of State downtown. Some states in the United States don't have a Secretary of State in their state or in their area where they could just walk on over. So you might have to send it in, mail it in, pay for carrier service, or if you want it done quickly, or just mail it there yourself. And it's really cheap. I paid like $10, and I got it done in the same day. It took less than 20 minutes. I just walked it in there. It has to be notarized first, so make sure you get it notarized before you send it to the Secretary of State, or before you go up to the Secretary of State. You have to get it notarized first, and then the Secretary of State will put a seal on it, like your state seal. So mine has like the Georgia State seal, Governor Deal, who's a governor, and all this crap or whatever. And they attach it, like they attach the copy of your degree with this certificate and this seal and this, that, and third. And you cannot detach it. If you detach it, it becomes invalid. So you have to keep them all together for it to actually do what you need it to do. Some companies make you take a step further, which is the final step, which is to take it to the Chinese embassy to be authenticated. But before you can take it to the Chinese embassy, you need to get it notarized first, get it authenticated by the Secretary of State, then you can take it to the Chinese embassy. So Chris got lucky because one of my friends, shout out to Jessica, she lived in Houston at the time, Texas, and that is where the Chinese embassy for Georgia is. Like, they don't have it in every state. So on their website they'll have a list of states and say, oh, if you live here, you go to this one. So because I live in the South, because I lived in Georgia, my closest embassy was in Texas, which is not close. So at the time we got lucky, and our friend Jessica, who is now teaching in China, she hadn't left for her job yet, and she was still living in Houston, and she let Chris mail her degree to her, and she took it. She just gave her the money, and she took it to the embassy for her, and she got hers notarized. So shout out to Jessica, thank you for doing that. But I didn't get lucky because I didn't graduate until August, and Jessica was already gone. She's already came to China to teach, so I didn't get mine authenticated by the embassy. Once I found out my job didn't require that, I didn't do it. Some people, they just want to be safe and sorry. Like, what if you decide to get a new job, or what if, you never know what happens. So some people, you might want to take it that extra last step just to be on a safe side. So that's why I'm telling you about it. And some jobs do require you to get it. So you need a statewide background check. I did not have to get mine notarized. I've heard now that they've been, getting strict over here. So a lot of jobs are now changing their rules where they're requiring you to get your background check notarized as well. I did not have to get that. I did not get that, but mine had like a stamp on it or whatever. So I don't know if that was the reason why. The state of Georgia just stamps it, says no record on the paper, but anyone could have bought that stamp. So I would assume that if your job says you have to get it notarized, then you have to get it notarized. If you want to take it to extra step and get it notarized anyway, then you can do that as well. I'm just telling you what I did. I did not get that notarized. I got my degree notarized. I got my degree authenticated, but I did not get it the final step, which is authenticated by the Chinese embassy. Then you also need a medical check. Many jobs require you to get a medical check before you come, which is stupid because when you get there, they take you to get another one. So like I paid for a medical check, which includes a regular physical, but then you have to add in an HIV test, a tuberculosis test, a EKG, where they stick the little magnetic things on you, and a chest x-ray. So you have to do all that with your medical check, and then it has to be stamped by your doctor. They do not take a formal signature. You have to have a stamp. I don't know what is with China and stamps. They really like stamps here. So even their documents, their formal documents, like my work permit, everything has a stamp, a seal, or whatever of approval for whatever company it is or whatever job it is. They use stamps here. So when you go to your doctor, before you pay them the money, you want to ask them, hey, do you have a stamp? Do you have a doctor's stamp or some kind of stamp that has your address on it, your name, something? So I actually I was really mad because my doctor just signed the letter and I was like, no, I need a stamp. And they tried to tell me they didn't have a stamp. Luckily, I paid with a credit card and I told them if they do not find the stamp, I'm going to have to dispute these charges because I told y'all what I needed before I came in, and now after I've done paid and all this, that, and third, you telling me you don't have a stamp? So they found the stamp, actually. So they had a stamp. I guess they didn't want to take it the extra step. They didn't feel like it. Maybe the lady didn't know what she was talking about. Maybe she was new. I don't know. But I was like, I will get my money back quick, fast, in a hurry, and I will go to another doctor because you didn't do your job to its entirety. Like, I just don't need a physical. I need a physical and I need a stamp so I can go take it to where I need to take it to for my job. So make sure they have a stamp. Ask them ahead of time and pay with a credit card. Do not pay cash because you don't want them to say, oh yeah, we got to stamp this and third, and then you get everything done, you pay your money, and they don't give you the letter right then. Like they was like, oh, come back in 2 days to pick up the letter, or however many days, because you have to wait for your blood work to come in from the HIV test. So you don't get it the same day you pay. So when you come back to pick up your letter, you don't want to be upset and be like, where's my stamp? And they're like, oh, we don't have one of those. So if they do, just pay with a credit card to be safe so that you could always, pull some, be like, I will get my money back on you real quick. So that's what happened to me though, y'all. It was crazy. So you have to get a medical check. Now some jobs, very few jobs will say you don't have to get one. They won't require you to get one, and they will let you come to China and then give you one when you come. All jobs in China have to have you get one when you get here, but they don't want to waste the resources and the money if you do happen to be HIV positive, or if you do happen to have a heart problem or a chest problem or tuberculosis or whatever else they're looking for. It's like a list of things, like psychosis, like are you crazy? Like it's a bunch, and it's actually a foreigner medical form. You could get it offline for the medical check. You could print it out. It's for China or whatever, and you print that out, or your job will probably supply one for you, and that's what you take to the doctor and they fill out for you or whatever. But and then you have to attach your blood work records with it, so it's always separate. So you have to attach your HIV test with it. For Shenzhen, I only had to get a letter. That's also for Guangzhou. I'm pretty sure you just have to get a letter. So your doctor just has to type a letter saying, oh, you're fine, you clean bill of health, da-da-da, and you're good to go, and they stamp the letter. For other places like Beijing, Shanghai, they want the actual form that I told you about that you can print off online, or that many jobs provide for you. So many jobs make you get that in advance. You don't have to, especially if you don't have insurance, which I did not at the time. It's kind of annoying to have to pay out of pocket. I called around to a lot of doctors asking, trying to get the best rate that I could. And I ended up looking up and only paying like probably almost like $200. Also, as far as immunizations, you do not have to get immunizations for China. That is not required. If you want, you can. I got yellow fever and typhoid before I came. I didn't get malaria. They have like Japanese empanitis. They have like a list of things that you can get depending on what part of China you're going to be in and things like that. I just got those two, but they don't require any. So I know people, Leon, shout out to Leon who works at English First. He didn't get any and he's fine. Then I know people who got them all. So it just depends on you and what you want to do and your own personal opinion and safety. But yeah, so the paperwork that you need: a degree that's notarized and authenticated. You can even take it a step further and take it to the Chinese embassy. A background check, notarized or not, you have to get a background check statewide, not an FBI check. South Korea requires you to get an FBI check, but not China. And if you say, oh, well, in a year I want to go to South Korea, so I might as well get it now. Don't get it now, because for South Korea it's only good for 4 months. So if you get it now, they're going to make you get it over anyway if you're in China for more than 4 months. So there's just no point. If you're coming to China, then just get a statewide background check. You can get it notarized or not, depending on the job. It's up to you and your own personal preference. And a medical check. Many jobs make you get one. Again, it's up to you and your own personal preference. If they don't make you get one, you might just want to get one just in case for your next job. And also a TEFL, TESOL, or CELTA certificate. The law in China now is that if you do not have 2 years postgraduate, meaning you already graduated college, work experience. Sometimes it could be teaching experience. It depends on what city you're in. But the minimum is at least a 2 years work experience or a 2 years teaching experience, depending on what city you're in. You have to have a 120 hour or above in class TEFL, CELTA, or TESOL. I got 160 hour in class CELTA down in Ecuador. You probably have seen my videos from back in the summertime. But like I said on the other video, you can get one for $5 on Groupon. Take it. They give you a certificate. You could take it to get it notarized if you want. I did not get myself to notarize, but some places require you to do so. So it's all up to you and what you want to do and what your employer requires you to do. And if you do the online one, just tell them I took it in class. Like, no one really has time to, like, I took the summer off. I told my job I was going to be leaving for 5 weeks to go and do it. I saved my money, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I planned in advance, but everyone can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So if you just, like my one of my friends, she just took it. I know several people who've taken a $5 Groupon TEFL and have gotten jobs, no problem. When a job asks you, hey, was it in class or online? Just tell them in class. They don't know the difference. It doesn't say on the paper, oh, this was taken online. No, it's just a certificate with your name on it saying the amount of hours that you've done. And you at least need 120 hours. So this unique with Unique Travels.tv. And I think I'm going to make another video after this about what I have a list, you guys. I have a list of questions that I've been being asked recently. So, like, subscribe, share.